Okay. Or you may get lucky and you may get in one of these cultural moments that actually kind of becomes kind of a Shiba Inu, or these horses. You look at the horse, you look at Secretariat, number 20, number 12 looks pretty good, and you look at these kind of Jockey's Cup kind of blow it out. And I think the fact that these meme coins exist and they're kind of fun. I mean, they are fun. They're entertaining.
Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. Support the channel by liking this video, subscribing, and enabling post notifications for more content on crypto and digital assets. Check out our other videos and share your thoughts in the comments below. Your engagement helps with the YouTube algorithm and keeps the content coming. Thanks for your support. Enjoy the video.
Everything else is kind of risky. And so you have this sort of spectrum, right? On one hand, you have Bitcoin, which is perfect money, which is fantastic. And that should be how you measure your success in life, right? So, British Hodl, one of my fellow Bitcoiners always says, you just got to get to 1 Bitcoin. That's your goal, right? So I think if you're young, when I was in college, I was completely broke. In grad school, I was completely broke, and I couldn't possibly imagine having $100,000 in cash, which is 1 Bitcoin today. So I get it when people are like, "Well, I can't have 1 Bitcoin. It's crazy money," but that should be an objective for you to get to that 1 Bitcoin level. And there's under 1 million people on this planet who have 1 Bitcoin. So I would say that's really your goalpost, is to get to 1 Bitcoin. Once you got 1 Bitcoin, you've got some success in life. You exit a company, you're part of some startup, you're in Phantom Wallet on Solana. It's a decent Bitcoin wallet if you want. There's better ones. So that's Bitcoin. At the other extreme, right? At the other extreme, we have meme coins. Right? Now, meme coins are not investments. Now, what I say by that is, if you put your money in a meme coin and you go to sleep for a year and you wake up, you will not have any more money. Most probably, right? Most probably, you wait a year, your meme coin goes to 0. Okay, but that's okay. That's part of what meme coins are, right? Meme coins are kind of a cultural phenomena that happens for a brief period of time, and then it's not worth anything. Okay, you may get lucky and you may get in one of these cultural moments that actually kind of becomes kind of a Shiba Inu, or my perspective on them, right? So the way I look at it is, it's a game, right? So it's a game, and you come into this game, and the game starts when somebody somewhere, right, starts one of these coins, right? So they're going to start this coin off. They're going to throw a little Solana into it right at the beginning. Usually it's somewhere between 1 Solana and 20 Solana, right? And what you will see is that the price that you get your Solana goes from the very beginning to the end, right? That price curve, you sort of think, well, that price curve seems like it goes up a lot, right? And you're looking at the market cap, and it goes up quite a bit from the beginning. But in terms of price, it's not actually going up that much. Not actually even doubling from the very beginning to the end. It's going up about 60%. And then we have this very sort of bizarre bonding phenomena, right? Where for any of these things, but I think they're kind of all just kind of meaningless cultural things. And they have value for a moment, and they might eventually have value, right? They might have value ultimately. And so what's the goal? Well, kind of the goal is to kind of to find the next fart coin, to kind of get that next coin that actually can last. And look, that's a huge lottery ticket, right? And I get that. Asteroids there. Astro coin. Yeah, look. These coins are fun. Like, you could get, these coins. Now, there are also you have to be careful about, manipulation, right? Because I can tell you that with like these stupid coins, there definitely wasn't just kind of pure, there were some very smart people who got in on that stupid coin and ramped it all the way up and made a lot of money and had all these bots ready to go. I get it. And I didn't. These horses, you look at the horse, you look at, Secretariat, number 20, number 12 looks pretty good, and you look at these kind of Jockey's Cup kind of things, and you look at this horse and you look at it and you see how he did, and they come in, they run, and it's all over in 3 minutes. Like 3 minutes, the horse race is done. Most likely you lost. Chances of you getting the right 3 in a row is very low. And then what do you do after the horse race? If you won or if you lost, you you play another horse race. That's what you do, right? And these meme coins, a lot like horse racing, right? You just go, I'm not touching my pig coin of any kind over the weekend or over today. I made that promise to people. I do not want to add any pig coin. Other people can add whatever they want to do with Bitcoin. I'm just having fun here. So I think it's like a horse race, and I think these things will have a lifetime. They will die mostly. Like you'd hear this, hey Macarena, blah blah blah, and you know what? It got overplayed, and people just couldn't take it anymore. Like 3 years ago, it was Despacito, right? That Puerto Rico thing. It's just like every single thing was Despacito, and and eventually people get sick of it. Now, are people going to get sick of meme coins? Probably. There's probably going to be some variation on meme coins at some point. But for now, we're probably still not at peak meme coins, right? I think we're going to. We still got some juice left in the meme coin world. So I find it fun. I will probably find it, especially during the period where Bitcoin's not doing anything. I'm going to find it kind of more fun. If Bitcoin goes to 200,000, I'm kind of back to cheering on Bitcoin more a little bit because I got so much Bitcoin, and at the end of the day, this is fun, but it's kind of blow it out. And I think the fact that these meme coins exist and they're kind of fun. I mean, they are fun. They're entertaining, and I think the fact that that's happening is going to get so many people into Solana, right? And it's going to get them into crypto, and they're going to start dealing with seed phrases and wallets and self-custody, and they're backing up their seed phrases because, you can lose your seed phrase on Solana just like you can lose your seed phrase on Bitcoin. So you start having to learn how to back it up and even use hardware wallets. And I don't know really too much about Solana multi-sig solutions, but if I had more Solana, I would, probably learn about that. And you can find out any of these questions now with AI. So if you don't know something, you just go to Grok, go to OpenAI and start. So all that stuff didn't exist. Now it exists. I don't know how I got on that. Favorite hardware wallets. I'm kind of agnostic on that. I actually aesthetically like Ledger the most. And I know true Bitcoiners don't like Ledger because, it has, they've done some, let's call it a little bit shady stuff, with kind of keeping the keys. But all single sig solutions have problems. Okay, so whether it's Ledger, Cold Card, Trezor, I don't care. You do not want to have a vendor risk on your hardware wallet. So the best solution is to do a multi-sig and to actually have multiple different vendors. So use Trezor and 2 ledgers, or 1 ledger and 2 Trezors, something like that. And a system like Casa or Unchained. That's the best as a Bitcoiner, that's the best solution. Computer science degree or something. Like in my age, Dave, if you didn't have a 4-year computer science degree, you're never going to like learn this stuff. You just couldn't get to it. Now, yeah, high schooler, no problem. I have a 17-year-old, and he's like, he can code all this stuff now. It's no problem. So, so yeah. So, but that was my view on meme coins versus Bitcoin. Now there's this middle zone. Middle zone is dangerous, right? So middle zone is Ethereum. It's layer ones like Cardano. It's Solana in there, right? My view on that is I think there's going to be one winner. And I'm coming to the view that it's going to be Solana. Not because it's necessarily perfect. Okay, Solana has some problems that I can see. The biggest problem it has is that it's not a deterministic. It's not a deterministic. You don't need to do that as you get older, So yeah, so that's what I think. I definitely think there's still a lot of interest in. I think there's a lot of cool things that can be done with meme coins, and so I have some intellectual. Interest in these things, and I'm also very pleased with the fact that we have Don Jr. and Eric Trump have they're doing this DeFi project, and that's kind of like, I'm not so interested in that DeFi project, but I'm just happy that DeFi is kind of decriminalized, right? So I think that's really cool. And I got to share with me my vision of kind of where we're going the next couple of years. So I definitely think, if you talk to somebody over 40 who's in Bitcoin, they're all say that they have this uniform. I think if you think about, and then sort of since 2020, it's just been, you can't develop anything, you can't build anything in crypto. It's all bad, right? But I think now that's going to change, and I think a lot of smart people are going to start building on crypto again, and I think we're going to see projects that happen on crypto again, and I think we're going to see laws that make it, more legitimate, more easy to do projects. And I actually think these projects can work this time around, right? So there's a lot of projects that were sort of okay ideas, but the timing wasn't any good in 2017, 2018, and part of it was, if you look at Ethereum and you tell people, okay, you got to go develop on the Ethereum blockchain, you got to use MetaMask, and you got to wait 3 minutes for every single transaction. You're not building a lot. Consumers want Instagram. They don't want something that takes 3 minutes very easily. So, I think this is just a great system. You basically keep, let's call it a couple $1,000s in stable coins that you need for, expenses. Maybe it's tens of thousands of dollars, right? But when you have significant amount of money, or just a separate bucket of money, that's kind of your money for the future, you put that in Bitcoin, right? And that's the way I see the world happening, right? So I think this is fantastic for Bitcoin. So a lot of people are like, well, Fred, you're a Bitcoiner, you wrote the book. No, I wrote this big book on Bitcoin, the big Bitcoin book, which was, we probably made more money on that book than on any other Bitcoin book. So we've made $450,000 on the right. The low fees, right? It only costs a thousandth of a Solana to really maintain a Solana account. 0.001. That's it. It's not a lot. It's like 10 cents, right? A couple of, not more than 10 cents. It's about $1, right, to keep a Solana account. So you got low fees, you got high speed, great wallets, you got the DEXs now, you're going to have all these applications. And, people attacking this stuff by saying it's just a bunch of casino coins, I think you're missing the point. I I think you're missing the point, because the point is that's how it starts. That's how you get to fucking mass market, right? And we are going to have, if you think that, you're only going to have 100,000 people, 100 million people using crypto, you're completely wrong. You're just early. You're not special. You're early. And, it's just going to be the same thing with the internet, cell phones, broadband internet. That was very rare that people had DSL. Now, of course, everybody has, video on the internet. This is just another technology that's going to go completely mainstream. And that's going to mean that the entire planet is going to be tokenized and it's going to use wallets. And that means that the entire planet can buy Bitcoin. And so it's just like, so now we have this store of value, this digital gold, of which there's only going to be 21 million. And every single person can just do 3 clicks on their thing and buy Bitcoin themselves. Well, what does that mean? It means you absolutely do not need banks. You do not need banks. Well, what's the point of a bank? The only point of a bank is to take your salary, right? Deposit it somewhere, right? And then pay your bills, right? That's it. That's the entire point for that, and stuff going out. So you can't save in dollars. You need to have a better way to save. And you should think, even if you're young and you don't have much, you should start to think about saving. And I think Bitcoin's going to do sufficiently well that if you just put, 10% of your salary into Bitcoin every year for the next 10 years, you're going to do extremely well. Doesn't mean you can't play around with other things. And, I would encourage you to play around with other things and to get really versed on some of these technologies, especially the AI coding tech. That's something I think is very, very important to learn. And it's against the tyranny, because look, at the end of the day, some of you most of you are almost certainly in the US, but look, you never know